here. So pretty much everybody here knows who I am. Nirlande Singleton. I'm the founder, creator of the Virtual Assistants Brunch Club. We started this community 4 years ago. And before that, I was actually a virtual assistant. I started off providing general virtual assistance and some of the challenges that I had in my business is not just building the business, but actually running the business, right? My medical issues really prevented me sometimes to get up and do what I had to do. So having that vision, that financial freedom vision in mind and where I wanted to be in my business, but not just in the business, but in my life, having that in mind, really pushed me, really gave me the push that I needed to continue and keep going in my business. Can everybody see me? Just me?
No, you don't have it on what's the name? Let's see.
You'll have to pin yourself.
Okay, there we go. Now everybody can see just me, right?
Mm.
All right. Okay. So having that vision of the freedom lifestyle in mind, it really just pushed me to want to build a solid business, a successful business, a profitable business. Okay. I was watching Shark Tank one day and Mark Cuban said, if your business isn't making substantial money within 3 years, after that 3-year mark, it's not a business, it's a hobby. And when he said that, I was like really thinking about how much money has my business actually made these 3 years. It hadn't made substantial money, because I didn't know so many things that I needed to do to set myself up for success, that I didn't do those things. And so when I looked at my business, I said, I'm doing it all backwards. I was doing marketing, but I wasn't doing it correctly. I didn't have my systems and my processes in place. I had nothing in place, okay? I was pretty much doing everything manually. Nothing was automated, and it burnt me out. It literally burnt me out to the point where I had to take a whole week off and just regroup. And when he said that, I really sat down and thought about, like, why am I not making the income that I want to make so that I can have this freedom lifestyle, so I can have the financial freedom that I want? And some of the things that I really didn't do, I needed to now focus on doing those things, right? And number one, you have to set the vision. You have to really set that vision to see, what do you want for your business? What do you want for your life, right? You set the vision based on not just, I want to make money, or you do want to make money, but at the end of that, of manifesting that vision, there's a higher purpose. There's a bigger purpose than that, right? So we'll talk about a little bit about the purpose and how you align your vision with your purpose, because most of the time people create visions and they set visions and they hit their vision. And once they get there, it's like they reach that plateau. They're like, okay, I made it. Now what? Right? You hit the vision, it manifested, you have the money, you have that lifestyle, and you still don't feel fulfilled, right? You still don't feel fulfilled because you did all the things you had to do and you accomplished all the goals you had to accomplish, but you still don't feel fulfilled. That's kind of what happens with wealthy people. You make all this money and they're still unhappy, right? It's because you envisioned it without purpose. And so we're going to talk about a little bit about the purpose of purpose, and making sure that it aligns with your goals and what you're in the bigger vision that you're trying to accomplish. Okay. So I do have some tips here that I want to share with you guys on how to overcome your financial challenges. One of the things that I did was just looking at my finances and seeing how can I make a little bit more money so that I can work less and be happy making that money, right? Because you can make money and still be unhappy. So one of the things I started to do was look at my value, what I was selling, who I was selling it to, and how was I providing that value so that I could charge the prices that I wanted to charge, right? So thinking about the money side of things, you want to start with your money because you want to project how much money your business is going to make. And once you look at the money, it actually tells you how much you have to work in order to make that money. Okay. Once I understand my profits and how many clients I need to get my financial goals, then I started to work less because I only needed 2 or 3 clients. And when I focused on those 2 or 3 clients, then once I obtained those clients, then I could, just relax, focus on those clients and not worry too much about making that money. And then the other thing about is retaining those clients, right? So how was I going to retain those clients? Not just providing great services, but also if I lost the client, how can I get another one? So I had to put in a marketing strategy in place so that every time I needed a client, I would already have a list of contacts that I could reach out to and say, hey, I have an opening, go ahead and sign up, right? So those are some things that I did. I made sure I looked beyond what I was doing in my business and look beyond what I wanted to do and what I wanted to accomplish for myself, right? And then you have to look at your resources, your tools, and see how they can help you as well, so you can hit that financial freedom and get to that financial lifestyle. What tools and resources do you have available to you? Resources can also be people, okay? What people can help you. They can either provide the financial knowledge that you need, right, in order to make your money work for you. You could actually use tools to help you with financial planning. You could also reach out to communities that can help you with the financial side of things in your business, that just supports you in whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish in your business, okay? And then there's also programs where you can actually that can help you increase your finances. If you have goals to expand your business, you have programs that can help you expand your team, get more money so you can expand your team, get more money so you can expand your business, and just have know those programs so that when you need them, you can reach out to them, sign up for, different programs such as grants. There's also pitch competitions. There's also small business loans. Those are some things that virtual assistants don't think about. Virtual assistants, we don't think about how we're going to fund our business, right? We think we're just going to work, and then the money that we make, we're just going to use it to pay our bills. But if you're serious about your virtual assistant business, you want to think beyond just working in your business, but working on it. Okay. When you're working in your business, you're doing all the mundane tasks, the day-to-day operations, the answering, emails and phone calls and just doing things a virtual assistant would actually do, right? But as a CEO, you want to focus on working on the business, which means you're thinking about the strategy, the strategies that you need to implement so that you can grow, so that you can get the funding you need, so that you can be where you want to be, so that you can become who you want to become, so that you can have the life that you want to live. So you got to think like a CEO when you're running your business, right? When you're working with clients, you're a virtual assistant. But when you're working in your business, on your business, you're a CEO. So what are those things that you need to do as a CEO so that you can get a little bit closer to your financial goals, hit those financial goals, and be able to just work less and be happy making money, enjoy your family? And these are just some of the things I had to think about because I did want to be able to enjoy my family and and take this time off when I needed it. So those are just some things that I want to share with you guys as far as financial freedom, creating the lifestyle that you want to live. Yes, we're here to make money, but we're also here to be happy. Okay, we also want to make money and be happy making money. And that was my goal, to work less and be happy making money. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and go to our first interview with Roxy Johnson. And Roxy is going to be talking about a vision of life by design. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we're going to create our vision with purpose. Okay, so let me bring Roxy to the stage. If I can figure out how to.
Yeah, you bow and everything. You ready? I'll let you in.
I was gonna give you like some music intro, but I don't know.
Go ahead.
Who's gonna give you some music intro? Um,
You better be glad I know her, right, y'all? 'Cause, you know what I wanted to, what I wanted to say is that I'm really, really glad to be here, but I'm not one to go in order of things. So I just want you ladies, if you could just listen, and if you had any questions, you could ask me. She had three different questions that she did give me. And you can ask them, Nirlande, and I'll try to stay within that realm because I know
all right,
me.
so before we get started, like tell us a little bit about you.
Okay.
Like, how did you start?
Well, I always like telling people what to do. So when you say you're a coach, you can really tell them what to do and they don't get offended. You know what I mean? So you can say it. But what I really enjoy is I love people. And I know being a female, what I recognize, and the other young lady will probably touch on it too. I recognize that a lot of the different ones that I was around that I knew and I loved suffer from a type of depression, but they didn't even know what it was. And so they were always stuck in a rut. And I thought to myself, sometimes I get like that, but how can I help? So that's when I really started looking more into coaching. What avenues? How could I? Everybody is different. So to be able to go different roads or different paths with each person, that's what really made me get more into that of life coaching, because I think sometimes we want to push that to the side. Oh, I'm not depressed. I'm just so tired. I just can't even think. Okay, stop playing. You got to be realistic with with yourselves. And we fight it the most, and we don't talk about it because we don't want anybody to think that, we suffer from depression, that it can't be. But the reality of it was that's what really got me going, because I had to think, and Nirlande had to, talk to me about different things, because when I want to do something, I can really do it. And what was pushing me back was, like I said, was a depression. So I had to really recognize, and one of her first questions I had written down, you can read if you want to. I actually realized that I was really needed. You have to feel a sense of being and where you belong. And sometimes we're all over. We don't really know where we belong. But I really recognized that I was really needed and that my presence was essential, because that's how you have to look at it. You are important, and you have a passion for things. And I had a passion for people. I never wanted to see anybody sad. I always wanted them to be happy. And I didn't want to be one to sit by the sidelines. And so that's what really, really pushed me. And I didn't want to have a blurred vision about what I wanted. I didn't want that. I wanted to be able, how sometimes you wear, I'll show y'all. These are my old glasses. So you put your old glasses on, you can't see a doggone thing out of them, right? Well, it was time for me to take those old glasses off. And I call them those rose-colored glasses, because when you put your rose-colored glasses on, you can see everything looks beautiful, doesn't it? It's the color you want, it's just glistening. And it was time for me to actually take those off and actually get the ones that would help me focus on my goal, because those rose-colored glasses weren't doing it. They're not a prescription for everything. So I had to take those off and actually get readjusted within my own mind. Because remember, I got all this stuff running through my head, fresh everything going. But I had to really settle and just stop for a few moments. So, and I got contact lenses. I'm only kidding, but I did. But I'm just saying, how you take them off and then you readjust. But I readjusted totally. And it really helped me, because I had to talk to myself a lot, and pray at everything at work.
Mm-hmm.
So which one? But that was my first answer to the first question.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, because even when we were always together, you always looked really strong. You always had it well put together, and you never showed what you were going through, and
Right.
it made me stronger. So how have
Did somebody say?
how have you been able to establish your values, your core values in your business, and why is reflecting those values important as far as crafting your personal vision? the personal vision that you have for your life?
Well, what I had to realize was that life is so much brighter when you look at things from uh, when you focus on what really matters. You know, we could begin to go through something and it's not even important, but we make that a priority. And so for me to sit down and say, okay, so what is really important right now in your life? And I had to really stick with it. And I had to stay, how can I say? I had to stay intentional. I had to challenge myself with daily goals and associate with people who were like-minded. Because sometimes it's almost like you may have good friends, but they're not good for you. You're good for them, but they're not good for you. So sometimes you have to drop down, push them over to the side, and put that other brick in there, one that's going to be supportive of you and take you to the level that you need to go to. So that's what I had to do. And a lot of my friends are, well, what do you want to do that for? Oh, blah, blah, blah. And so it would become discouraging. So I had to be with those who were going to be encouraging. And that's a really hard thing when you have people in your life for so many years and you know that they're not good for you. And the most important thing is to really sort it out and not be afraid. And that doesn't mean that you never talk to them again. It doesn't mean that you never do anything with them again. What it really means is that you're recognizing who you are as an individual person. And that's what I wrote down. I wrote down, I look in the mirror and tell myself, you are Roxy Johnson, because I switch it all around all the time. And I also put that I had various abilities and they were endless. And you have to look at yourself like that. When you get in the mirror, and you know how you look in the morning, you don't look like this. You all made up now and everything. You'll look like this. But you still have to look at yourself in a realistic way and say, no matter what, this is who I am. My abilities are endless. And I'm not going to let anyone step in my way unless it's a step of encouragement that they're going to be able to give you. So that is something that you really have to look at as women, because we could let a man come into our life and he could trip us up, girl. We break our leg, our arm, and everything, and we still trying to run behind him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like life. You get all beat up and torn up in life, and you're still running behind those same things. Leave them where they are. Continue to look in that mirror and focus on who you really are. Tell yourself everything that's imaginable, like I'm needed. I know I'm needed. I'm worth such and such. You come up with your own mantra of things that you want to tell yourself and you want to deal with. That helped me so much because I used to wear makeup and then I stopped. And then I said, you gotta start wearing your makeup again. I always have my hair blonde no matter what. And you get your little earrings. People think they expensive. You're like, girl, I don't even know where I got these from. But you just take your compliments and you keep it moving. But you keep encouraging yourself as you go on the path, because you got to stay on that path, and you have to stay on the path right here. See, because there's always going to be somebody who goes through this ear and it comes out. You got to let it come out. Sometimes we leave it there for a little while and we vacillate on it. It's not worth it. And what I wrote down is to me, it's almost like an eye exam. I wear glasses too. So anybody who wore glasses or contacts or anything, you think about it. You go for your exam, right? And you know how he puts all those little things on and they come up blurry and he asks you what's this letter and blah, blah, blah. So when you're looking at that and you get it all done, and then you have to go back for your next visit and you decide, I'm going to wait. And it's been 5 years since I've been there. Well, everything is blurry now, isn't it? You've overstayed. You should have went back. Your eyes have gotten worse and everything. And what really happens is, this is what I was saying. You really can't distinguish what's what. You're so messed up and everything is so out of focus. Don't do that with your life. Keep yourself motivated, okay, with a lot of excellent visionaries that you want to look at, things that you want to look at. Keep them clear. Keep them clear. Keep your eyes clear. Take those rose-colored glasses. Don't put them on anymore. Keep your vision clear on what you want. Keep going, just like an eye exam. You do it regularly. Keep focused on what you want on a regular basis. Don't let anything come in your way of moving you off of that, because your vision is important. You lose your vision, you're lost. You're like a blind person. You don't even know which way to go.
And I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking about the difference between having a purpose and having a plan, right? And how it relates to your vision, right? So when you plan something, plans can always go left, or you may abandon your plans, right? There's always going to be some obstacle that comes in your way, you know, to kind of block your vision and block your plans. But when you have a purpose, no matter what happens in your life, no matter what obstacles come in your way, you're going to make sure that that purpose actually happens. Nothing is going to stop you from actually getting to that purpose, right? And I could go a little bit deeper, but I'm not gonna do that.
No,
We most of us here know what our purpose is in life, and so
right.
whatever it is that you want to do in life, nothing's going to stop you from doing it. If it's your purpose, if it's something that you actually want to do, something that you envision for your life, it's going to happen. Nothing can block that your purpose. Nothing can block your blessing as well. So with keeping that in mind, what is a vision statement that kind of sums up your purpose, the values, and the impact that you want to aspire to make in your life as well as the lives of others?
You know what? It's funny you said that because I had all these little quotey quotes and things that I was going to share with you guys. And because I love quotes and I love things like that because they're so encouraging. And I had so many of them. So you know I can't find them,
And
right? But I want
also want you guys in the audience to pop in the chat. Give yourself a vision statement, something that you are looking forward to, and include your purpose, your values, and also the impact that you wanna make, right, in your life as well as others, and create that vision statement for yourself, right? It's a great way to just kind of remind you. It's like a mission statement for yourself, right? Something that you will always refer to so that you can keep your vision clear, keep your vision focused, so that you know when times get hard or there's obstacles in your path that you're going to think about this statement and really make sure that you're staying on course and that you don't lose focus, right? So pop your vision statements in the chat, you guys, so we can share our vision statements. So
this is
Roxy,
my last thing that I was going to say about that. And the reason I chose this is because it's really it's for each individual woman. And the reason I is when I go, I'll read it. It says, be the reason someone feels welcome, seen, heard, valued, loved, and supported. Because no matter what you're embarking on, you want to cover at least one of those things. Because when that person feels welcomed by you, when you speak with them about your business, they're going to stick with you. When they feel seen by you, they're going to do it. And all of these things, they feel valued. They're going to stick with you. They're going to stick with you because now they're looking through your eyes. They're looking through your eyes and they want that. How many people do you know don't want to feel welcomed, don't want to feel seen, heard, valued, loved, and supported? Everybody. So that should be our vision, to propose those and have that in our life and say, you know what, each person I meet, I want to have one of these things that I share with them so that when they see me or they think about me, that's what they're going to go back to. You don't think they're going to keep coming back to you, they are, because they never forgot how you made them feel. And that's very important. That should be your signature, how I make people feel, in other words. And that's how I want to treat people. And that's how I want to be treated. So if you don't remember anything else, remember that. And Nirlande, no, I ain't the typist. I'm going to send this over to her and she's going to put it in the chat because I am not good with this stuff at all. I'm so glad I got it. Woo, can we do it right now?
Simone says my purpose is to end CEO burnout. Yes, that is like a big thing, especially for new business owners. You know, they're trying to do everything on their own. They're trying to, you know, make sure things happen and they're not really reaching out for the support. So definitely avoid burnout by reaching out to your support system and reaching out to people who can actually help you in your business. Mine is to empower women to live life on their own terms. And this is something that I have kept in mind from the day I started my virtual assistant business. That's my goal, to live life on my own terms. When I was working, I was constantly on someone else's time. I couldn't take PTO. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. So mine is to empower women to take control of your life. You know, you have that power. You can make decisions on your own. You can make decisions for yourself. You can make decisions for your children, your family, your whoever. Make those the decision to live life on your own terms, and whatever that looks like for you, do it for you. Okay, because it's going to make you not only happy, but it's going to make you a better person inside as well as outside. Okay. And my last question for you, Roxy, is how can visualizing, how can using like visualization techniques really enhance motivation and also help you clarify the steps that you need to take in order to bring your personal vision to life?
You know, it's when I thought about that question, I have like paintings and different things through the house. When I look at them, they bring back to mind what my purpose is, what I'm supposed to be doing, you know. And so that's why a visual is always really good. When we see it, it jolts us almost back to reality of what we're supposed to be doing. Sometimes if we don't, you know how people say, well, show it to me. Do you have it written down? Show it to me. That's the reason why, because it goes into our mind again. And the one thing that I have on my wall, it says, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. And I always look up at that when people get on my nerves. I look at that and I said, okay. And that was a painting that I saw, and I had to have it because I wanted it in front of me, that I would always remember that kindness was one of the most important things that we really need. And so I think they're extremely important because sometimes we'll forget. But if it's right there and you look up, or if it's on a phone, or whatever, however you make it, you're not going to go wrong. As long as you take off those rose-colored glasses and you can see it clearly.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Guys, give Roxy a hand. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you,
Thank you
y'all.
for our stage. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. How can we connect with you on social media?
Listen, you're getting all that together for me.
Okay,
You
I
didn't
will
know
send it out.
that. She's gonna work on it, and we're gonna get it.
I'm gonna send it out. You guys can reach her on social media. I'll tag
With you.
her.
I definitely want to get with Catina. Can you put my number in the chat? I'm looking at what she's saying about how she wants to do with chronic illness. Listen, you know, I have cancer.
Amazing. So we're gonna talk
It
a
ain't
little bit
yet.
with Katina later
Yeah,
on. So
so
stay
I
tuned,
really want to
guys.
get with her. I'm
Yes,
not going
stay
nowhere. I'm
tuned.
just gonna drink my
Stay
coffee.
tuned. You're gonna enjoy her part. So stay tuned, you guys. For Katina, right now we're gonna bring to the stage our amazing productivity coach. Before I bring her up, I want to read some of these statements you guys put in here in this chat. Katina says, my purpose is to empower women who live with chronic illnesses to stop hiding and start thriving in business without sacrificing their health. Cora says to inspire women to achieve more than the labels life has given them. Yes. And Shanice says, my purpose is to help entrepreneurs to streamline their workload and make time for the main things. Yes. Thank you guys so much for sharing your purpose. Thank you so much. And make sure we keep these vision statements somewhere we can always visually see them as well. Make sure as you're creating your vision board, keep that in mind as well. Keep that vision statement in mind as well as you're creating your vision boards. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and bring my favorite productivity queen to the stage. You guys, welcome. Welcome Simone to the stage, you guys.
Hello, hi everybody. Hi, Nirlande. Thank you for having me.
I'm so sad that I can't play music.
Because you know I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
And you know that song that you used for
Yes.
it's a hit now. I'm like,
Girl,
I remember that song from
Toya
you.
Monet.
On my mama, y'all. On my mama.
Lord.
Came from Simone. That it was the first place I heard it on my stage. I was like, wait a minute, what is this?
Okay.
Now it's a popular song. So every time I hear that song, I think about you. It's like an affirmation now, right? Everybody looks fine.
Girl, okay.
Looks good, you know. And of course, you always look great, amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So, for those who don't know Simone, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So hello, everybody. My name is Simone Little. I have been an entrepreneur for close to 15 years. I am a serial entrepreneur. So I do many different things. I have a hair salon that has been open for about 14 to 15 years. I'm a certified makeup artist as well. But more recently, I am a business productivity and life strategist and a fractional COO and an operations expert. I really help entrepreneurs, CEOs streamline their business and create work-life harmony. I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in work-life harmony. And so that's my specialty. I do this through creating operational systems that not just cover your business, but also cover your life as well. I am a logical thinker, but I have been able to coach myself to be a logical thinker because internally I'm driven by emotion. So I really enjoy helping emotion-driven entrepreneurs to add some logic to their emotion in order to make decisions and get closer to their goals in life.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So I absolutely love how you think, because I feel like we think the same way. We like super organized. And you've taught me a lot just watching your Instagram. And I actually like this post on Instagram that you recently shared, a video posing the question. I did have some questions plans, but I'm gonna go off beat for a little bit.
Do you think, girl? I'm ready.
You posed the question, what actions could you take? I'm sorry, what actions could you be taking after you've created the vision board to transform your goals from vision to realization, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about the vision board here, and we're done creating the vision board. Now, my vision board, I'm going to be hanging up on my wall so I can visualize it and see it every day. But that's not going to be it. That's not going to be enough. Just looking at it every day is not going to be enough. So what are some steps that we need to take in order to make sure that our vision is realized?
Yeah, I think there has to be an actual plan of action behind that vision. Like, I love it. Like, taking time to create that vision board means that you've taken time to crystallize what you want, which is important, because how can you create a plan of action, a plan of attack, if you're confused? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. You're throwing a lot of things up in the air, throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks. You're never going to get to what your actual purpose is. You're not going to see it achieved. So crystallizing that vision is really important. But after that, you have to create a plan of action. And so the simplest thing that I tell my clients to do is that we're going to schedule time each and every week to work on a part of that vision. Like, we're going to create milestones, right? And so within the next 6 months, what's the big thing? What's the big milestone? In 3 months, what's that big milestone? All right, what can we do every week, if not every day, to get a little closer to achieving that milestone? And having things planned out like that helps you to achieve that vision that you're not looking at every single day that's in front of you. I mean, having it in front of you helps, because when you get tired and you're ready to give out, you can look at it and look at your calendar that says, I'm supposed to be working on this thing that's right here in front of me. And you say, all right, I'm tired, but I'm gonna keep going, right? It helps with that. But having it on your calendar so you know what that specific action is that you're going to take, that's the step that a lot of people miss. You can look at it all day, but if you don't have a plan of attack or a plan of action, it hinders you and it slows you down in your progress.
So when it comes to productivity, especially in your business, like if you're setting a vision for your business, how do you make sure that vision for your business happen, and how do you be more productive?
Mm-hmm. So, Nirlande, I want to take it back to something that you said earlier, because I was sitting up here like, yes, exactly. You talked a little bit about a purpose versus a plan.
Yes.
And so that's the first thing. That's really important. You have to understand what your purpose is, right? And so I love that we did that exercise in the chat. Everyone listed what their purpose was, because it's not just about the plan changing, but it's about your services changing. It's about your offerings changing. It's about your title that you give yourself changing. It doesn't matter what it changes to, as long as it links to that purpose. It allows you to say, I'm gonna change this service because it gets me closer to that purpose. And it gives yourself some of that permission.
Yeah, I love that, because sometimes we want to change the vision. We want to change the purpose, when we need to look at the plan. Like, make some adjustments to our goals, make some adjustments to the task, but keep the vision the same, right? With that. So how do you change the plan or readjust the goals without losing sight of the vision?
Yeah. So again, I'm a logical thinker, but my initial thing is always emotion. And so I say this in a way that we probably have some emotional people in the room that be like, I feel like things aren't working, right? I need to change. I know I need to change the plan because I feel like things aren't working. But what does the data tell you? Does the data tell you if things are working or not working, right? What do the analytics tell you? Because you forgot that you're collecting data, whether you realize you're collecting it or not. So let's look at what our data is telling us. Let's take finances. What is our finances telling us? Are we making the money that we want to see? If not, then that's how we know the plan needs to change. Do we have the clients we want? Do we have the type of clients that we want? Okay, maybe something in our marketing needs to change. How much time are we spending in our business? There may be some lack of some inefficiencies. Then our operation or back end may need to change, right? And so this data that we've gathered tells us if the plan that we have is actually productive in leading us toward our goals, because we're doing something with our time, but productivity is measured by if that time is actually leading us to the goals. If it's not, then it's not productive.
Yes, amen to all that. Because I really agree with everything, because when I was creating my vision, my plans changed so much. And I doubted myself and I had imposter syndrome. And I was like, no, I can't do this. You know, you go through those moments where you're not sure if you're actually doing it right. And I love that you said, what is the data telling you? What is your finances telling you, right? What is your marketing telling you? Look at those metrics and see, are you reaching those KPIs? Are you reaching those different metrics, so that you can actually see that what you're doing is not in vain. You're actually producing, but you may not be producing at the speed of lightning, you know, that you want to, but you're making progress little by little. So just staying focused on your purpose and making sure that it aligns, your goals are aligning with your vision. It's going to help you make sure that you get to that, so that you manifest it and you realize it, right?
And it has to be more than a feeling. And that's my point. It needs to be more than just, I feel X, Y, and Z. That's great. We have emotions and we need those, right? But add some data to those feelings. All right, I feel this way. Can I back it up? Be it good or be it bad? And I love the point. It might not be at lightning speed. So have you given the plan enough time to actually work, right? Set those markers. If it's 6 months, see it out for the whole 6 months. Like, don't throw in the towel. Like, don't give up too early.
You're not gonna make $1,000 in 24 hours, okay?
Yeah.
You have to let the plan unfold. You have to, and then you have to put a really strategic plan in place, right? When I do anything, it has to have a strategy. Because strategy helps you keep account of what you're doing and how you're doing it. Because if it works this time, you're going to use the same strategy. So if you're documenting what you're doing every single time, then you can actually see your results. When you look back and you're like, oh, wow, okay, I did do all of this, right? So that when you have those days when you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not making any progress, you can look at your documents. You can look at the data and see, I did make some progress, right?
Yeah.
So are there anything that you would recommend for virtual assistants to kind of help them with their vision? Any tools, any resources, any programs? What would you recommend?
To help them to craft their vision?
Exactly. Well, not just craft the vision, but just kind of help them staying on task, staying focused.
Yeah.
I know you do a lot of operations.
Yeah.
A lot of systems and processes. Like, what can we use to actually, if we don't have a support team, or we don't have a team, a virtual team, or people that can actually help us with the task, are there any tools you recommend, any systems, any processes? What do you recommend?
Yeah. And so if you're trying to keep up with your progress toward your purpose, your progress towards your vision, it doesn't matter if you're a paper person, it doesn't matter if you are a tech queen, there are a couple of different things that you can do, right? If you are a tech person, I suggest using a PM system, a project management tool, right? You need to use it for your clients anyway to keep track of what's going on there, or else you're going to have things flying in a couple different directions, and that's going to get really difficult and clunky for you. But for yourself personally, you should have something. If you're someone who likes to do things on the computer, but you are not great at tech, like tech is just not really your thing, I suggest using something like Trello that's very simplistic, that allows you to create an organized to-do list. Is more sophisticated than your your notes in your phone. But it allows you to create, it is visually appealing. So it has that aspect of it too. If you need something that is a little more robust in that you need a higher level of collaboration so other people can help you as well, I would suggest something like Asana or ClickUp. If you have a lot of people and you have robust projects that you need to work on, ClickUp. If you just have 1 or 2 people and the projects align, or something like Asana or Monday. But all those things will help track you toward those goals. Plan out from the start, here's where I am, here's what I want to be, and have those markers in between. And then you can start mapping out those intentional steps. That's what it's high level, that's what a strategy is. What are the intentional steps that you're going to take to get there, right? Sometimes we say strategy, people, it feels like a lot. There's just intentional steps that you're going to take to get there. Map those things out. You can check them off and look at the progress towards your goal. This ain't work. All right. I end up doing it differently. Wait, great. I made a note and iterate the plan, which means, hey, look at it and rewrite it. It's okay. Everyone does it. Billion-dollar companies do this. Looking at the system and saying this didn't work and rewriting it, billion-dollar companies do this. So you as a small business owner don't need to feel any type of way about doing it. It's fine. This is part of being a productive business owner. This is a part of doing business. If you're doing this, it actually means you're doing an amazing job because you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing. Looking at what's going on, making a note and iterating on it and keeping it moving. Highs, lows, but you're going to get there. You're continuing to go forward.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for being here, Simone. I really appreciate you coming back on our stage and just sharing your insights, especially when it comes to vision boards. And thank you for the tips. How can we connect with you? Because I asked Roxy earlier, she was like,
Yeah, definitely connect with me on Instagram. I am very active. I am at the Simone Little. It's just my first and last name and the word "the" in front of it. Slide in my DMs, ask me questions. I'm really engaged and active, and I send voice messages because I don't really like typing like that. So.
Okay. And is there anything that you are planning this year? Any programs that you have that can benefit virtual assistants? Share those with us.
Yes, I have a launch coming up on either Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, and it's very, 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 very special. I think I put in the chat that my purpose is to end CEO burnout. And like I said, that means that I'm not tied to any service in my business. I'm not tied to any title. I'm tied to ending burnout for CEOs, and that looks different in every season that I go through in my life. And so I'm going through a new season. And so I'm excited, and that will definitely benefit virtual assistants and all those entrepreneurs who own any type of business. So I'm excited for that.
Thank you so much, you guys. And thank you for correcting me about strategies. I like intentional better.
It wasn't a correction. It was just giving it new color. No correction.
No, it sounds
perfect.
better. It sounds more relatable. It sounds more like, okay, I know, okay, now I know what you're talking about, right? Sometimes we do have those big words, people using all these big words and we don't really know what they mean. We just want it broken down simply. So thank you so much for sharing that. Have a great day. All right, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and go into the chat. If you have any questions, pop your questions in the chat, you guys. Definitely check out Simone's planner. It is amazing. I think she has like, is it just 1 or 2?
It's just 1. It's a planning notepad. It's dateless. So that means that it has some flexibility to it as well. But if you are a time block person or you're trying to time block a little bit more efficiently, then it helps. And also it helps you actually have times beside your tasks, because a lot of times what we're not doing is we're putting tasks anywhere in our day, but we're not assigning it like a time. So it helps you do that. It helps you plan more effectively.
I like that planner because I actually love to see the times. If I'm having an appointment, put it at the time, or if I'm doing a task, I need to know what time. I love that. I love that style of planner. So you guys definitely check out Simone's planner. If you could pop the link in the chat, we can all go ahead and get one of those. And then we have, let's see here. All right. Catina says, thanks for sharing practical tips and strategies. And everybody wants the planner. Yay. All right, you guys. So it is 2:02. We're going to have our last speaker here, which is Catina. We're going to invite Catina to the stage, you guys. Please welcome Catina. Catina Morrison.
Hello.
I feel like we've known each other forever. but we just kind of, met maybe last year. Was it last year?
Yes.
And we've just, been connecting. I'm gonna talk a little bit about connections, making connections at the end of the this event, because it's so important for us to make connections. And I feel like I made some really great connections, and you have been a really great support system as well. And we have our stories that we share. You have a wonderful community, Inflame Sisters, thriving community. Before we get into our chat, won't you tell us a little bit about you and in your community?
Yes. Well, my name is Catina Morrison. I am the CEO of Nurse Loves Essentials, and I also, which is my for-profit business, Nurse Loves Essentials, and then I also have my community, which is a part of my nonprofit, Inflame Sisters Thriving. Originally, I created my business, Nurse Loves Essentials, because I saw a need in our community, specifically to uh, see people, especially who look like us, who are willing to be vulnerable and transparent about chronic illness, to not see it as a chat as something that stopped us from being able to achieve our goals. Most of the time, people, when diagnosed with conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, lupus, um, all forms of conditions, cancer, even making it okay to talk about mental health and how that can impact someone. I felt that I needed to do that, and that happened all between. That happened during the time when we all were experiencing what they call the panorama. And while we were experiencing that, I noticed that I needed to connect with people more. Um, Even being what I call a introvert, extroverted introvert, I saw that, and working from home for more than 14 years now, I saw that I needed to connect with people. And when I went on social media, um, I saw that most people weren't talking about this subject, or I didn't see people who looked like me, especially women of color, who were discussing it. By trade, I'm a registered nurse. I have been a registered nurse now for 18 years and worked in healthcare for 24 years. So it started out with me creating the Instagram page just to educate people, but within 2 weeks, people wanted me to be their coach. And I said, okay, maybe I'm called to being a coach now, and working in that area like I did in my professional life at one point. And I went ahead and started my LLC, got established in all the things I needed to, and started coaching with regards to health. But then I saw it started fitting people in their careers and their business life, and motivating them to do things they didn't think that they were capable of. So I started off, and I got entrepreneurs started to reach out to me too, saying like, "How are you doing all of this? Um, can you give me the steps of how I can do the same thing?" So I began coaching coaches and professionals who had businesses, who live with chronic illnesses, providing strategies with regards to social media and ways that they can improve their business growth overall. And then I saw, as one person, I was quite limited in what I could accomplish overall. I wanted to really make a bigger impact and not be one person coaching 20 people at a time like I was, and 12 one-on-ones, 20 people. It became a point where I had to decide what was the best for my personal health. Um, so I started to figure out, what did Inflame Sisters Thrive and really mean to me. I created the podcast under my business, but then I realized this should really be something bigger because it's attracting a large audience. I had events, my summit and gala, and other types of events. And I realized what people wanted was a safe space where they could be empowered, inspired, encouraged by women who are like them, to continue to aspire to reach their goals without sacrificing their health. And in November of last year, I finally created my nonprofit, the Inflame Sisters Thriving, which is now a 501c3. And I continue to do consulting work through my Nurse Loves Essentials, but my focus is really to provide a platform that's accessible to more people that can continue to support that community, as well as our mission is also focusing in improving diversity and inclusion in medical research.
Thank you so much for sharing all that. So we're talking about a vision of health and wellness. So we're going to try to see how we can incorporate that in planning our visions, and really setting goals. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, how does nurturing our bodies and our minds really contribute to the effective vision planning and goal setting?
Well, one of the things that often many of us lack in is actually taking the time to look at the way that our mental health really impacts our physical health. And realizing that if we don't attain some form of balance, harmony is another a frequently used word. But if we don't prioritize our overall health and wellness, we won't be able to achieve our goals. In fact, those are the things that create the flare-ups that will create the challenges for us to be able to stay on track, especially those of us who live with autoimmune conditions and chronic illnesses that can impact our day-to-day life. As a woman who lives with rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia, and a history of a host of other conditions, I understand very clearly that if I don't make my health my priority, my overall wellness, I cannot be of any asset. I can't be an asset to others. I can't really be able to fulfill my purpose. So that's why it's important for us to focus on those things. Part of that is not allowing the stigma around mental health to impair or impact us in a negative way, that we don't get the help that we need. Many are speaking about mental health and wellness more these days, but really actively seeking to get treatment is important for us. I personally was recently diagnosed with attention deficit disorder with memory impairments. This is a condition I've lived with my whole life, but I wasn't diagnosed until I'm now going on 40. So while I had implemented strategies throughout my life that helped me to cope and helped me to still accomplish my goals, graduating at the top of my class in high school, graduating, with honors at the University of South Florida for nursing, progressing effectively within my career into director positions. I eventually, if you do not address your mental health and wellness, which also could be causing or impacting your autoimmune conditions, chronic illnesses, all of those things, soon those strategies that help you to get to where you are will start to crumble. So I've actively implemented, therapy, implementing, actually getting the ADHD testing to really determine, is this what's going on with me? And by the way, my family said they knew I had it all along. They just didn't want me to be labeled. So I was like, really, y'all could have told me this at 13. Okay. And then I might have did a little bit better. Y'all think I'm doing, but you were just fine. You were doing great. You're doing good. But at some point, those symptoms associated with those conditions overwhelm you. The depression, the anxiety, the strain that can come with it without you knowing that you actually have a diagnosis that's contributing to it. It can make everything else worse. Your sleep habits. If you're not sleeping good, my sisters, your inflammation goes up, your blood sugar goes up, your blood pressure goes up. Everything starts to fall apart with sleep too. So I encourage everyone to really prioritize their health. And how can I first take care of myself better so that I can reach my goals? and make sure that my health doesn't become the thing that falls apart while I'm standing at the top of the mountain. Without your health, nothing you achieve is worth anything if you can't enjoy it, and if you're not here to enjoy it. So those are things that I really encourage in reference to that. Making sure not just your physical health, your mental health, and what are practical ways that you can consistently do holistic things that can help you. Doing the research and consistently doing those things, and the ways that you can use, if necessary, medicinal treatments as well. I believe in integrative health. How can medicine and holistic care work effectively together, so that you don't have to be on a lot of medicines, for example? So those are some of the things that I encourage, so that you can effectively reach your goals.
You definitely answered all my questions. I literally had like 5 questions, and I looked through all the questions and I'm like, she answered all my questions. So you
Sorry about that.
talked a little bit about some things that we can actually do, like some, healthy habits that we can incorporate, some treatments that we can get. You talked about the therapy. You talked about just some things that'll help us, because it really does start with our minds and our bodies. How we feel really makes us want to do things or not want to do it. How we feel and how our body's functioning inside really starts to affect us on the outside, and it starts to mess with us physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. If you don't want to get out of bed and go to work, you end up feeling it financially, and then spiritually as well. So we really need to take care of our bodies inside and our minds. And one of the questions that I love to ask you is about advocacy. How can we really advocate for ourselves, especially when it comes to our physical and mental well-being, so that we can achieve those goals? How do we advocate for ourselves?
Well, it's important to know that it doesn't start with our doctors. It doesn't start with your therapist. It doesn't start with your family or your friends. It starts with you. You have to be your own best advocate. And that means when you're not getting the answers and solutions that you need, in regards to health, seeking a second opinion, being willing to also look at other alternatives to ways that you can improve yourself. What are you doing in your day-to-day life that could be impacting your overall health and well-being? But the other thing is, with regards to advocating for yourself, is knowing that it's important for you to find your voice and use it. Oftentimes, many of us may have been raised in situations where it was a challenge for us to use our voices. We spend a lot of time quiet or not really fully expressing ourselves. And I found that even though I gave off this very strong exterior, which I come from a family of many women, we are very strong in appearance, but internally I wasn't where I needed to be, because it was very challenging to use my voice, to really speak up in certain situations. And to also learn how to manage my emotions effectively. Not getting carried away with your emotions or what you think people feel about you, or what you think you feel about yourself, as far as the imposter syndrome. So advocate for yourself, find your voice, realize those things that have impacted your ability to speak up for yourself in the past, and work on those things. Work on not allowing yourself to suppress your emotions and feelings and your voice. And then realizing that when you use your voice, that you're using it to make sure that you're getting the care and treatment you need, but also in your business and professional life, that you are knowing that the voice that you have can actually help others. It can actually change the life of others. There were so many things that I did that I felt was so small, that people would reach out to me and tell me that really, changed my life. That really made a huge impact on me. We could actually be holding ourselves back because we choose not to advocate for ourselves. There's a lot of opportunities that have came up for me, in being the speaker and partnering with corporations and things of that sort, but was because they see how I'm actively using my voice to support the mission I've established. So don't diminish your voice because you're actually diminishing your potential. So speak up. Something isn't right, work on ways to fix it, whether it's talking to your doctor about your options or whether it's knowing that you can't do all of this by yourself. So start connecting, start talking to people, start setting up those meetings, because it's meetings that I've set up with people that led to other opportunities for not only me, but also them. It's how I came in contact with the amazing Nirlande. We set up a call with each other, and we found how much we had in common with each other, and the amount of support that she's given me actually would keep encouraging me. Just having brief conversations with others, you also can get feedback that can help you to improve and change aspects of your businesses. So part of advocating for yourself is also building community too, so that you can help others and as well. But that community is actually what's going to keep you going throughout your business. It's going to be a constant source of not just support, but those who are willing to actually invest in you because they know who you are authentically, and are willing to continue to support. So I hope that answered it.
Thank you so much. You guys, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. I have one last question that I wanted to ask, and it's that Black woman syndrome that we have, that we feel like we have to do everything for everybody and just neglect ourselves. How do we break free from that? I mean, you've shared a lot already, but how do we start to break free from that as Black women? We don't have to take care of everybody else and forget ourselves. How do we break from that?
Vulnerability and transparency is not a weakness. Actually, it can be your greatest strength. And that's what I learned from even taking the leap to start my business, to even start the Instagram page. Anyone who knows me were actually looking cross-eyed and sideways, like, Tina started a public Instagram page? That ain't her. I'm that person who had that 180, strong 180 friends in my private social media. And that was it. It was no extra than that. But when I started that, they were like, all right, let's see where this goes. And within 2 weeks, like I said, I hadn't even actually publicized myself as a coach, and people were asking me to be their coach. And then coaches started getting on my timelines, and businesses started wanting to partner and sponsor and all those things. So in the midst of that, the Black woman syndrome, in reference to how some feel about it, is, that strength that we have that makes us different from many, that it's in our genes. It's genetic, but that strength doesn't mean that we can't allow ourselves to be vulnerable and transparent. And that's what I lead with in my platform. I don't mind talking about the hard and challenging things that most would not say. Well, why would you tell somebody you have ADD with memory impairments? Why would you tell someone that you had endometriosis and had to have a total hysterectomy? That you weren't able to have children, you had a miscarriage in 2015, that it was a lot of things that I was doing that went against the grain of what I was actually taught, whether verbally or through nonverbal methods, that I realized that it was a source of healing for me. So I encourage people to, those of us, especially women of color, people of color, Black women, that we embrace vulnerability, transparency, that we talk about those hard and challenging things, that we don't make everything look like it's a bed of roses, but we show that you can overcome this. I think the thing that is that I value most in Black women is our resilience. So rather than just focusing on the strength, focusing on the resilience, that no matter what comes our way, we can overcome it. But the best way we can overcome it is together. So I know, as that strong Black woman I am, that I can't do this. What I'm doing is not from me. It's not by myself. I know these are talents that God has blessed me with, and that I need to focus on continuing to show women that there is strength and resilience and strength in community, strength in supporting each other, combining forces, and being vulnerable and transparent.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I totally agree. Your voice has power, and our voices together has even more power, which I'm going to touch on my last part. But definitely use your voice, you guys. Share your story, because once you start sharing that story, it resonates with somebody. It's going to help somebody. And so thank you so much for sharing your story. And thank you for sharing your community. Is there anything that you have planned for the year that you would like to share with us?
Well, girl, I have a lot planned, but a sister has been trying to slow down a bit. But there's several things. I did start my community, the Inflamed Sisters Thriving. It does have a membership program. And then for those who are attending, I'm offering a 10% discount. With that, I'll send the information and links to Nirlande. But I have I have monthly virtual events that I'm hosting, as well as we do in-person events. Our largest in-person event is the Inflamed Sisters Thriving Summit and Gala that we host, and it'll be hosted in October this year, October the 12th. And we bring people from all over the United States and different countries as well who attend the event, and have a host of experts who share their knowledge. We bring in, there's vendors that are present, and it's a lovely day with lunch, dinner, a beautiful gala at the end, to continue to support our mission to support women who live with autoimmune and chronic illnesses, and to help them to stop hiding and start thriving, and connect them with the resources that can help them to do it. So please feel free to check out my websites, as well as our upcoming events that will be taking place. And think about considering joining the community, or letting me know ways that you can support our 501c3 nonprofit. So I appreciate you for allowing me to share, and I look forward to continue to support you as well. You are an amazing woman, and I'm so proud of what you're accomplishing. Despite challenges that you may face, you always inspire me to keep it moving. And one conversation with you always makes me feel better.
I feel the same way. We can talk for hours.
Yeah, without knowing it. So thank you.
But thank you so much for coming and supporting and just sharing your story. Your tips are amazing. I'll be following you on Instagram. You guys go ahead and follow her on Instagram at Inflames Sisters Thriving. And also I am _ Catina Morrison. I'll go ahead and pop all the Instagram handles to our speakers today, so you guys can go ahead and follow every single one of them, you guys. Thank you so much for being on this stage. I appreciate you being here. Everybody give her a hand.
Thank you.
I wish I had music for you. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. So let's continue this. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to go let you guys take a restroom break, go get your snacks, and then we'll come back and we'll start our vision boards, okay? And if you haven't downloaded your vision board yet, just go ahead and do so now, so that you have it ready, so that when we go over it, we can go over it together, and I'll show you how to use it, okay? All right, we'll be right back.
You say you were DoorDash for lunch.
All right, so here is, I call it a vision board matrix, okay? And the reason why I call it the vision board matrix is it comes from, have you guys heard of the Eisenhower matrix? Let me know in the chat if you've ever heard of the Eisenhower matrix. So the Eisenhower matrix shows you how to strategically set your goals. In that matrix, you would pretty much create 4 sections. You would section it off in 4 sections, and you would the first section would be your must do, should do, can do, would like to do, right? So with that in mind, I decided to create a vision board matrix of things that I would actually like to do and get done in 4 sections. These 4 sections represent quarters, or they can represent 4 years. Okay. So if you have your workbook, you can go ahead and read through the information that I have provided here for you. Before you start, define your goals. We're going to create some categories in which we can focus on some areas in our lives that we want to align to our goals. And then we'll do the visual part with finding the images, the quotes, whatever you want to put on your vision board based on, again, the goals that you want to achieve. They have to align with those goals. Your images, your quotes, all of them is going to align with your goals. And then you're going to organize your matrix. I provided four sheets for you. So we'll go through just one of them so we can work on the first quarter together, and then you can go ahead and work on the other 3 quarters later on, right? So you're going to set your milestones, any small goals that you want to achieve or long-term goals that you want to achieve, okay? And then what you want to do during the process of your vision board, creating it and then actually executing it, you want to make regular reviews of it, okay? You want to make sure you update it based on the goals that you want to accomplish. You want to track your progress and making sure that you achieve what you set out to achieve, and then celebrate those milestones as well. Celebrate your achievements and make adjustments as needed. And then the visualization techniques. One of the things you want to do is visualize that it actually happens. It has already happened, right? So you want to use some powerful tools that's going to reinforce that visualization. And then you want to share, we can share and discuss our virtual vision boards if you would like. You can share them and just kind of let us know what it means to you to create this board. Okay, so then after you create the board, you want to be flexible and just kind of using the tips that you heard today on the platform from the speakers. Be flexible, stay flexible. And when things arise, when, you know, obstacles coming your way, be adaptable to your goals, you know, and keep in mind those strategies or those intentional steps that you're going to be taking so that you make sure you actually fulfill your goals, achieve your goals. Okay, take action. And then so let's start with the vision board. You're going to break it down, like I said, into 4 sections. And then we're going to create categories, different categories that we want to break down each quarter to. You can choose business, finance, personal, professional, travel, health. I have a list of categories here that I actually personally researched, and you guys, these categories are broken down so that you can really get specific on what type of goals you want to actually accomplish. Okay, kind of makes you think of what you really want to focus on, not just say I want to focus on my finances, but yeah, maybe you want to focus on saving some money, so you want to have a savings goal. Or maybe you want to build relationships, not just family, friends, maybe social connections. So get really specific on what categories you need to put on your vision board and making sure that they actually align with your goals. Okay, so we got these categories, and then excuse me, again, visualize and plan. Daily hustles, pretty much just listing those habits and routines and tasks that you're going to be needing to do every day. Simone touched on that. Okay, once we're done with our vision boards, what are those habits, those routines, those tasks that we need to put in place every single day so that we're making sure it's helping us get closer and closer to reaching our goals and manifesting our vision. Okay, and then number 6, in number 7 is very important because again, we're talking about those roadblocks, right? Those things that keeps us from reaching our goals. If you feel like you're struggling with some of these things, reach out for help, get some help if you need it. It could be a tool, it could be a person, it could be a resource. Reach out for that. Get support in your community, okay? Get the tool, get whatever you need. If you feel like mentally, emotionally you're struggling, you may have to step back from what you're doing and just get your mind and body together before you can actually execute your goals, okay? And then developing a CEO mindset, you guys. When you're in business, 3 things you want to focus on: eliminate, automate, delegate, okay? So while you're creating your vision, you want to ask yourself, what are some things that I can eliminate, automate, and delegate that's going to help me get closer to my goal? Okay, help me execute this goal, achieve this goal, right? So keep those 3 things in mind as you're creating your vision, and also as you're creating those habits and those routines and those tasks. Ask yourself, what can I eliminate? What can I automate? What can I delegate? And if you need help with that, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to anyone who's on this platform, our speakers on the platform, and just kind of reaching out to them as well to help you in that area as well. Okay. And then I like to incorporate prayer and gratitude. I do want to pray over my vision, especially my purpose, and making sure that it aligns with not just my purpose, but God's purpose as well. And making sure that I'm strengthened, I'm encouraged, and I have the wisdom that I need in order to continue serving my purpose as well as a higher purpose as well. Okay, so making sure your prayer aligns with your purpose as well, and keeping it real, just practicing gratitude, being thankful for what you have, and also giving back. Okay, not just in your personal life, but also from your business. Okay, I love the fact that Catina has started her nonprofit. It's her way of giving back to her community. So practice gratitude as well. And the money that you're making, you didn't make it by yourself. So give some back to your community. Um, and then the last thing I want you to do is I want you to frame your vision board. It's actually a picture. It's a beautiful decor for your office. Put it in a frame. You can print it out as an 8x10. Put it in an 8x10 frame, and then put it somewhere you're going to see it every day. It's nice for decor, but it's also a constant reminder of what you need to be doing, okay, to actually get closer to your dreams. All right. And then just pace yourself. Don't rush. Reflect, adjust when you need to. Everything that you need is already inside of you, guys. You just have to execute it. So let's go ahead and let's create these vision boards. So I have some frequently asked questions in the workbook as well. You can go over those questions if you want later. And I'm going to show you guys my example here. So here is my example. This is the sample here. So what you're going to do is you're going to type for the first quarter, your categories and the goals that align with those categories, right? And when you're thinking about the first quarter, I want you to think about what is it that you want to do this first quarter, okay? What is it that you want to do, and choose your categories based on what you want to do. And then the second quarter, think about what is it that you want to have, okay? What is it that you want to have? Choose your categories based on what you want to have. It could be something tangible, intangible, something you can touch, something you can actually see. Just think about what is it that you want to have. And then for the third quarter, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Hold on just a minute. I actually changed the screen. Give me a second. All right, here we go. All All right, so here's the screen. So as I was saying, your vision board matrix, cut it, section it in 3 sections. The first quarter, you're going to put in your categories, you're going to list your goals, and you're going to you're going to ask yourself, what do I want to do? Okay. There's 4 things that I ask myself every year. What do I want to do? What do I want to have? What do I want to be? And how do I want to live? Those things kind of drive my vision, right? So for the first quarter, I'm going to type in what I want to do, and I'm going to pick the categories that I want to focus on. I try to do just 2 categories, and then I'll write my goals. And I'll do this for the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. And then at the bottom of my matrix, I'm going to write down the habits, the routines, and the tasks that I need to do in order to make sure that these goals are actually achieved. Okay. So that last line that says type how you plan to achieve each goal is you focusing on what you're going to need outside of yourself. Okay. To help you achieve that goal. Are you going to need a tool? Are you going to need a resource? Are you going to need a person? Are you going to need a team? So that is where you're going to be focusing on. If you start to struggle, you need to remember, okay, I have support. What do I need? Who do I need to reach out to? What tool do I need to put in place to help me reach my goal? Okay. So here's my final here's the final product right here. For me, I'm gonna hang out a little bit here. So when you're setting your vision, we always talk about those SMART goals, right? Being specific, measurable, achievable. We focus on those SMART goals, but you also want to focus on how to reach your goals, how to actually outline it so that you're being very specific, but you're also setting goals that you can achieve, right? So this matrix is helping you to kind of section out your goals so that you're not doing every single thing the first quarter. And that's where we sometimes mess up, right? We try to do everything the first quarter. We try to lose weight. We try to, focus on our fitness. We try to focus on business. We try to focus on finances. We try to focus on our relationships. We try to do everything in one quarter, and it just ends up not happening, right? So breaking it up throughout the year based on where you want to be that year is how you want to section it off. Okay. So I think in terms, my first quarter is basically focusing on my finances and my business. And then the second quarter is like around April, June, right? April, June, I know I want to travel. So I will focus on my health, losing weight. They usually have an event in March, so I'll focus on planning that event. And then maybe in the summer, I want to go I want to do some retreats, maybe in the summer or later in the year. So I want to focus on that as well, researching different retreats that I can actually attend and support other women, right? So just looking at the season that you're in that quarter will help you to actually focus on what you need to be, how to plan that vision so that it actually gets executed properly. Okay. And you actually reach that, manifest that vision. So looking at the season that you're in, the third quarter, what are you doing? What are you going to be doing in the third quarter? My third quarter, I usually start my summer. It's around the time my kids are going to school. It's around the time where I set my spiritual goals. So around that time, I'm going to be focusing on those things, right? And I want to make sure I'm focused so that I actually achieve my goal for that fourth quarter. And then at the end of the year is when I usually like to take some downtime. So I'm budgeting at the beginning of the quarter, I'm budgeting money so that I can actually go on my trip. I'm actually going to go on a trip for real in November. So this is just my actual my vision board. This is actually the things that I want to achieve this year. At the end of the year, I want to go on a 2-week cruise to Turks and Caicos with my husband so we can celebrate our 15-year anniversary. And we want to take our kids as well. So just to give them that experience, they have like a kiddie daycare there. So we're not worried. So we can leave them in the kiddie daycare while we go and have some fun. So this is stuff that we're in budgeting. And some of these things we actually started some of the goals that I have on here, I've actually started them last year. Okay, at the end of last year, October, I started to work on some of these things. So most of the things that are on my vision board right now are things that are are pretty much unfolding, things that I'm planning to actually achieve during these quarters. So sometimes pre-planning helps as well. It's always good to pre-plan to know what exactly you want to do the next year, so that you can actually start working on it the previous year. So that's what I do. Around October, I start thinking about what my next year is going to look like. And this is what I started doing in October when I started creating my vision. This is what I saw for myself this year. So it was easy for me to write it out. And so with my habits and routines and tasks, for the first quarter, I know I'm focusing on business and finances. So I'm going to be, building my savings account, managing my finances a lot closer so that I can actually save up for the things that I need to save up for. And then for quarter two, focusing on my health, buying healthy foods, buying outfits, shoes. And I also thought about buying a treadmill. If I can't go outside and walk, then I'll get a treadmill so I can actually stay active inside the house as well. And then I'll start planning for my vacation around that time as well. And so these are the things that you need, the habits, the routines, the tasks that you need to put on here just to help you stay focused. But the thing about it is, and Simone touched on it, this is just a vision board, right? You're putting your main goals on here, but you have to have some way to track your progress, some way to plan it out in details, right? This is just a bird's eye view of what I want to do, right? So I would actually go in my planner or on my calendar and actually write out the things that I actually need to do, the steps that I actually need to take in order to make sure these things are actually happening for me. And then my last line is, when I do start to struggle, especially when it's time to plan events, I need support. So I'm keeping in mind where I'm going to get that support. Am I going to get interns, accountability partner? If I struggle with traveling, finding out how to maneuver my travels, maybe reach out to a travel agent. You have the tools and the resources that you need. You need to reach out to those people to support you if you feel like you're struggling in any area of reaching your goal. Okay. So that is it. That's the vision board. And I'm going to show you how I plan this. So with the photos, I started to look for photos that remind me of the tasks, the habit, or the routine that I need to keep in mind to do in order to motivate me to do it, right? So I started finding photos of my goal, things that are going to remind me of what I need to do, right? So I started getting some quotes that are going to help me motivate me. I started to envision how I wanted the kitchen to look like, some, furnishings that I want for my house, and all these things that are going to motivate me. For quarter two, instead of just putting pictures of random words, I started to put pictures of things that I'm going to actually need to help me exercise. Am I going to need fitness equipment? Am I going to need just things that are going to help me, motivate me to get out and go and go outside and take a walk, make sure I have my headphones or water bottle or stuff like that. Those things, honestly, if you don't have the outfit or the shoes, sometimes those little things stop you. They end up stopping you from actually going out there. You're like, I don't have nothing to wear. My shoes aren't, comfortable. You start making excuses. So buy the things that are going to keep you motivated and help you reach that goal. And then we talked about planning events, and then also going on that girls trip. So I wanted to actually envision these things happening, right? And I wanted to put things on my board that reminded me of the things that I wanted to do, that I needed to do. And so quarter three was, again, focusing on my spiritual and self-care. My daughter, she's getting to that point where she's gonna be entering womanhood in a couple months. So I want to help her, start to focus on herself as well, and continue her self-care. She loves it. She loves our little pamper sessions. She loves, putting on the nail polish and, doing these things with me. So getting her ready to like really take care of herself and focus on herself. And then the last quarter that I said I wanted to go on that cruise. So I started looking for pictures of the boat. I wanted to celebrate my anniversary. So I kind of pictured myself there, you know, like I'm going to be on this fabulous cruise with my family. And then I have a picture of this family. I have my husband and I, we have a boy and a girl. So really picturing our family there so that it keeps me focused on what I actually want to do and want to accomplish. Okay. So you guys, let me see if I go back to. So that's my vision board, you guys. That is how I envision when I create my vision boards. That's how I focus on really getting my vision out there and really making sure that I stay focused on it. I want to hear your thoughts, you guys. How do you guys come up with the ideas for your vision boards and how to reach those goals on your vision boards? All right, so we are come to the end of our event. I want to see your vision board. You guys tag us on Instagram. When you're done with your vision boards, tag us on Instagram at Virtual Assistants Brunch, Virtual Assistants Brunch, and also use the hashtag VAB Vision Board Party so that we can actually keep track of everybody's vision boards and reshare them on our Instagram. Okay. All right, you guys. I want to thank all of you all for being here, showing up for yourselves. We're gonna try to have more virtual events. I got really sick this week, and so so many things went on this week, but I'm so happy that you guys showed up for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Let me know how I can continue to support you. Visit our website, virtualassistantsbrunch.com. We have so many things coming up. We have so many programs that we're going to be implementing this year, and we'll be sharing all that on our website. So visit the website, virtualassistantsbrunch.com. I'll be sharing all the speakers information as well with you guys. Anything that you have to send me, speakers, just go ahead and email it to me and I'll share it with the community. Once again, I want to thank you all. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I will definitely keep you guys in mind for the next event. Okay. All right, y'all, we're going to sign off and say goodbye.
Thank you so much. I was so excited to be here. This year included me.
Music, but let me see if I can try. If you want to stay for a little bit and connect, you can. I'll keep the room open for another 10 minutes. If you guys want to stay a little bit longer and just chat about share your boards, you're welcome to do that. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending this afternoon with me, and we will see each other again soon.
Thank you, guys. Just want to say bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care of yourself.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. I look
I
forward
enjoyed
to
the presentation.
Yes, thank you,
you. I
Nirlande.
did too. You were great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep. So I look forward to connecting and seeing how I can help, because I have all the things that you have just about. So I'm
Yes.
just wondering how I live in a very small area. It's about 2,000 people in my town. So I'm just trying to see how I can assist. So it's got to be things going on. They don't really have a lot going on here, but I would love to get a chance to brainstorm with some of you all. Okay. So I look forward to the addresses and things. You have
Yeah.
a good day. Okay.
All
And
right.
keep, all right, sweethearts. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.